Hello students of Standard 9, DAV Mobile Public School welcomes you all in e-learning classes. This is Nitin Pushpatode, your social science teacher. Today's topic is poverty as a challenge. First of all, we will study about poverty. So, let's start our today's online session. Poverty. Students, what do you mean by the poverty? Listen, poverty is a state or condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and essential for a minimum standard of living. That means poverty is a condition in which a person lacks the financial resource and essential things to enjoy minimum standard of life. It is the most difficult challenge faced by the independent India. Poor people can be landless laborers in villages, juggies, and slum dwellers in cities and towns, daily wage workers at construction site, child workers in a beggars. Okay, so students, this is the poverty. Students, it has two indicators: common indicators and social indicators. That means poverty is looked through common as well as social indicators. Okay, common indicators. Students, level of income and level of consumption, these are the two most important common indicators. With the help of these indicators, we can assess the poverty status, poverty ratio. Students, what do you mean by the level of income? Listen, the equilibrium level of is the point at which a business is able to sell all of the goods it planned to. It's called level of income. Another, level of consumption. It determines the relationship between consumer spending and the various factors. At the household or family level, these factors may include income, wealth, expectations about the level, and riskiness of future income. So, students, in such a way that level of income and level of consumption play an important role to assess poverty. These are the common indicators. Students, some social indicators are there like poverty rates, inequality rates, educational attainment, life expectancy, employment and unemployment rates, health expenditure, and fertility rates. Again, level of literacy. Students, these are the social indicators. With the help of these, we can assess the poverty ratio. Students, next point is basis of poverty line. That means poverty analysis is an approach to assess the distributional and social impacts of policy reforms on the well-being of different groups of the population. Students, the most commonly used indicators for poverty analysis are social exclusion and vulnerability. So, first, social exclusion. So, students, what do you mean by the social exclusion? Listen, it is a state in which individuals are unable to participate fully in economic, social, political, and cultural life. It's called social exclusion. That means social exclusion means living in a poor surrounding with poor people excluded from enjoying social equality of people in better surrounding. In India, caste system is based on social exclusion. Listen students, caste system is the main cause of social exclusion. People belonging to certain caste were prevented from enjoying equal facilities, benefits and opportunities. This caused more poverty than the lower income. Another one, students, vulnerability. What do you mean by the vulnerability? Listen, it means the extent to which changes can hurt or harm a person or system. That means vulnerability to poverty is a measure which describes the greater probability of certain communities of becoming or remaining poor in the coming time. For example, members of a backward class or individuals like widow, physically handicapped person, and so on. Vulnerability is determined by various options available to different communities in terms of assets, education, job, health, etc., and analyze their ability to face various risks like natural disaster. Okay, so students, these are the two most important indicators of poverty: social exclusion and vulnerability. Students, in the given picture you are seeing, you are observing some steps, some factors of vulnerability management program. First one, vulnerability assessment. Second, systematic process. Then prioritization and automation. dashboards and reporting. So these are the factors of vulnerability management program. Students, next point is poverty line. What do you mean by the poverty line? Listen, it is an imaginary line used by any country to determine its poverty. It varies from time to time, place to place, and country to country. The most common method of determining poverty is income or consumption level. That is, people will be considered poor if their income or consumption level falls below a given minimum level to fulfill the basic needs. So it's called poverty line. Students, it is an estimated minimum level of income needed to fulfill basic needs of life. Okay, students, next point is what? Just estimates of poverty in India. Poverty estimation in India. Listen, students, how can we estimate poverty line in our country? Listen, in India, a subsistence level of or a minimum level of food requirement, clothing, footwear, fuel, lighting, educational and medical requirement, etc., are determined for estimating the poverty line. Since in rural as well as urban areas, the nature of work and the prices of goods are different. The calorific requirement and expenditure per capita are also different. Students, in the given chart, you are observing the poverty ratios of India in our rural as well as urban areas. Listen, students, poverty ratio of rural areas was 50.1% in the 1993-94. In students, in urban areas, there was a poverty ratio what? 31.8% in a 1993-94. Again, students, total 44.3% poverty ratio in between the same period. Students, in the 2004, listen, in the 2004-2005, poverty ratio of rural area was 41.8%. Again, poverty ratio of urban area was 25.7%. Total 37.2% poverty ratio. Okay, in a 2004 5. Again, students, in a 2011-12, poverty ratio of rural area was 25.7%. In urban area, it was 13.7%, and total 21.9%. So, students, this is the picture. This is the poverty ratio of poverty estimation in India. Students, we can easily assess with the help of this data about the poverty estimation in India. Students, next point, vulnerable groups. Students, what do you mean by the vulnerable groups? Listen, poverty among social groups and economic groups categorized varies widely in India. First, social groups and economic groups. Socially vulnerable groups are the household of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Second, economically vulnerable groups comprise rural landless laborers household and urban causal labor household. However, during the last few years, all these groups except the scheduled tribes groups have witnessed a decline in poverty. There is a great difference among the members within the poor families. Okay, students, so these are the vulnerable groups. Okay, students, in such a way that today we learned about the indicators of poverty, then poverty estimation in India, poverty line, and again the social indicators. Okay, students, on the basis of today's content, some assignment question I am giving you. Okay, students, before that, again I am explaining one most important point: interstate disparities. Students, listen, the proportion of poor people is not the same in every state. In 2011-12 estimates, all the India HCR, that means head count ratio, was 21.9%. The states like Madhya Pradesh, Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Odisha had all India poverty level. Bihar and Odisha continue to be the two protest states with the poverty ratio of 33.7% and 37.6%. Students, the states successful in reducing poverty have adopted different methods for doing. Some examples are, listen, Punjab and Haryana had high agricultural growth, high agricultural growth rates due to the effects of the Green Revolution. Again, Kerala has developed its human resources by investing more in education. West Bengal has reduced poverty by implementing the land reforms and so on. So, this is the interstate disparities with respect to the poverty. Okay students, on the basis of today's content, some assignment question I am giving you. You have to write the answer of these given questions. Students, remaining part of this lesson we will learn in the next online session. Okay students, thank you very much and have a nice day.